Welcome home, residents. It's your Mayor Alistair back once again. After 3 years since Dominion, the next film in the Jurassic franchise has finally arrived. Gareth Edwards' Jurassic World Rebirth. Zora Bennett leads a team of skilled operatives to the most dangerous place on Earth, an island research facility for the original Jurassic Park. Their mission is to secure genetic material from dinosaurs whose DNA can provide life-saving benefits to mankind. As the top-secret expedition becomes more and more risky, they soon make a sinister, shocking discovery that's been hidden from the world for decades. We've been tracking this film ever since Edwards was announced as director, coming off Godzilla, Rogue One, and The Creator. With Jurassic Park's original screenwriter David Koepp returning, and the decision to shoot on film and on location in the jungles of Thailand, hopes were high for a grounded, authentic return to the series' roots. But after the rocky reception of the recent entries, the question is, can this actually be the comeback Jurassic fans have been waiting for? Well, having seen it early, the answer is complicated. So let's break it all down and figure out if Jurassic World Rebirth is worth your time. For those that are new to Dangerville, be sure to subscribe and stomp that notification button. Yes, I'm talking to the 70% of you that aren't subscribed. We've got loads of Jurassic content coming, so don't miss out. Stick around to the end to find out where Rebirth ranks amongst the rest of the franchise. If you know me, you know that I'm a pretty avid Gareth Edwards defender. Godzilla 2014 is one of my favorite films of all time. The Creator is beautifully shot, and Rogue One is easily the best Disney Star Wars film. So I had a lot of hope that he would deliver going into this film, and I'm happy to say that he's mostly successful. Jurassic World Rebirth is by no means a perfect film, but I'm happy to say that I had a blast watching it. I'll save spoilers for another video just so you can all get a chance to see it. The Jurassic franchise has a strong history of tackling real-world themes, often through fairly simple premises. On paper, Jurassic Park is just about dinosaurs running loose on an island, but of course it offers much more than that. Rebirth continues that trend, though on the surface, the story might seem a little thin. Go to the island, get dinosaur DNA, leave. It doesn't complicate that basic setup, but it does tap into some fairly timely ideas, like the absurd cost of life-saving medication and the commodification of scientific breakthroughs. Not subtle, but still resonant. Much like the original's warning about unchecked capitalism, this film adds its own take on the ethics of genetic power being monopolized. It doesn't stop the story to hammer the point home, but the message is there. They definitely could have done more with the concept, however, because the skeleton is there for a really great story, but I couldn't help but feel like the structure was built around delivering several action-packed sequences rather than trying to tell an interesting story. It's not bad, but I can imagine people feeling disinterested with its clear linear path. Pacing-wise, I found the film flew by. I didn't even realize how deep in we were until someone beside me checked their phone. Some say it starts slow, and yeah, it's dialogue heavy for about 30 minutes as it introduces the characters, but it gets moving fast, and once it does, it doesn't stop. Now onto a Jurassic film lives or dies by its characters, and while the World Trilogy gave us some, to let's say, mixed results, Rebirth brings some of the most likable characters since the original. Jonathan Bailey's Dr. Henry Loomis is a standout. He's the first character in years to actually geek out over seeing a dinosaur, which, as a dinosaur nerd, I can absolutely relate to. He even gets one of the nicest moments I think the Jurassic franchise has had since the original. Mahershala Ali's Duncan Kincaid is another highlight. A calm, stoic presence who still brings emotional weight, and by the end I was genuinely rooting for him to make it out alive. Scarlett Johansson's Zora Bennett starts strong, with a backstory hinting at past trauma, and it adds some early intrigue. But disappointingly, the element doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't affect the mission or her decisions, so it just ends up feeling a little tacked on. Then there's the Delgado family. They're like the regular people of the film and have a surprisingly warm dynamic. I wish they got more development, but they have arguably the best scene in the film. But of course, with Gareth Edwards at the helm, we expected it to at least look beautiful. So, did it? For me, the visuals of Rebirth are a mixed bag. Sometimes it looks flawless when the cinematography and the VFX align perfectly, and it delivers some of the best looking visuals the series has frankly ever seen. Edwards' utilization of Kodak film cameras gives Rebirth a nice warm grainy look that the series has been sorely missing since the Park days. But at other points, things can feel artificial. You can just tell when they're using a green screen, and the CGI can stand out quite a lot. I can only assume this is a result of the extremely rushed production. They wrapped filming in October 2024. That's really only 8 months for post-production, and shots were still being adjusted late into the edit, with several shots being completely changed or removed entirely. Still, when the film leans into the real locations and practical set pieces, it shines. It's a reminder that Jurassic films look their best when they feel like they're shot in real environments. Now, one of the most important part of Jurassic Park's identity is, of course, the music. Alexander Desplat takes over from Michael Giacchino, who composed the previous World films. So, does he deliver? I can only describe the score for Rebirth as sublime. He delivers what might be the best score the franchise has had since Jurassic Park 3. Yes, there are classic John Williams themes reused, but Desplat brings his own flair to them and creates new compositions that blend beautifully into the series' musical identity. He knows when to make things beautiful, utilizing an almost euphoric orchestra, and he knows when to make it scary, harking back to Jaws or Hitchcock's Psycho with the intense high-pitched shrieks. I'm honestly so pleased, and I can't wait to listen to the music when it releases. But what is Jurassic without... Edwards has previously said that he wanted to return to the less is more philosophy, making the dinosaurs feel real, more like animals than characters in a superhero movie. They're unpredictable, animalistic, and the designs are just excellent. Especially that new T-Rex, my beloved Rebirther. And I'll just say that the T-Rex river raft scene might be in the top 5 scenes in the franchise. Tell you what though, those raptors have a great design. But yeah, I just love the way they utilize the dinosaurs here to actually feel like animals again. Although one of the bigger issues I have is that the dinosaurs enter the story, leave, and are never seen again. You get your Mosasaur moment, you get your Quetzalcoatlus moment, the Rex moment, the Titanosaurus moment, etc. But they never really return except for maybe 1 or 2 of them. So temper your expectations there. The dinosaurs here are almost like random encounters. Feels very video gamey. It must also be said, the D-Rex is awesome. This thing is a beast. And I think a lot of the naysayers will be convinced that this thing is cool when they actually see it in the film. Of course, Rebirth isn't without... The script can be contrived, characters make decisions that don't really make sense, and there's a lot of humor that doesn't always land. David Iacono's character especially leans hard into that comedic relief. He got some chuckles out of me, but it got to a point where I was just thinking, you're stranded on an island, at least take it a little bit seriously. There's also a few pretty major retcons that I need to rewatch the film to fully understand. Some are so big I was actually wondering if I misheard them. Rebirth also doesn't really push the story or world forward in any meaningful way, which I can see a lot of people disliking, but I think there's a few subtle hints as to where the franchise can go moving forward. The ending is also perhaps a little anticlimactic, and something happens that just isn't explained whatsoever that left me scratching my head. Though elements of the finale feel like a direct answer to the criticisms of Dominion's climax, which, to be honest, made me pretty happy. There's also something that happens at the beginning that is so dumb, like so very dumb. I have no idea why no one on set said, can we figure out another way for this to happen? Because it's just so dumb it's funny. I'll go more in depth on that in a spoiler video, but if you see the film, you'll probably know which part I'm talking about. Overall, I had a really good time with Jurassic World Rebirth. I went in with tempered expectations, and they just about match it. It's a flawed adventure where you can probably nitpick it to death, but it also offers so much good that you can overlook some of those problems. It has genuinely nail-biting scenes, looks beautiful for the most part, introduces some really fun characters, and has some of the best music the franchise has seen for over 20 years. Though it definitely feels like just another Jurassic Park sequel, It's not trying to be the next Endgame with its scale, it's just trying to be a good standalone adventure, and I think it does the job well. Gareth Edwards did a great job with the material here. There is no other director I could imagine delivering something as high quality as this in that space of time. As a Jurassic fan, I'm going to give Jurassic World Rebirth an 8 out of 10, which to me is around a B+. But where does this rank on my list of favourite Jurassic films? Before Rebirth, my favourite was Jurassic Park, of course, followed by The Lost World, then Fallen Kingdom, I know, controversial, then Jurassic World, followed closely by Jurassic Park 3, and then all the way at the bottom is Dominion, which is really the only Jurassic film I have trouble finishing. The rest I love. But where does Rebirth fit? Right now, I'd say it goes just below The Lost World. I definitely need to see it a few more times to really nail down my thoughts, but after first viewing, I'd say it's just a little worse than The Lost World, which still has that Spielbergian craft that just can't be beaten. But for me, Rebirth is probably the highest quality work since Spielberg, which is always going to be a tough act to follow. But what did you think of Rebirth? Did you like it or hate it? Let us know in the comment section down below. Try to keep the comments spoiler-free for those that have yet to see it. Thanks so much, residents, for watching. Be sure to subscribe and stomp the notification button to become a resident of Dangerville today. And give this video a big old like to support the channel. I've been Alistair, and we'll see you, residents, in the next one.